Okay, it is December 20th, Sunday. We're going to break down XLM, multiple time frames, and we'll break it down technically and see where this is heading. Looking at from left to right, we got a monthly chart, a weekly, and a daily, and then we'll look at a 4-hour and a 1-hour chart, because I can tell when I'm looking at these three time frames, I can get a read on short-term movement and longer-term movement. So the first thing I notice is clearly we're breaking out. Now the cryptos have been really breaking out. You can see here on November 21st is when the big breakout occurred. We were going pretty sideways here. You can just see here, sideways, 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 breakout. And that is typically where you're going to want to be when you get that breakout, that volume increasing. You can see down here the volume. So we have volume down here. Volume really spiked up on that day, November 21st. And then we break out for 1, 2, 3 big days. And typically when you're going straight up like this, it's going to be a short-term move. When you get a candle like this with a massive range, that typically means that's the end of the move. So it's not surprising that it's pulling back after that. And what'll happen after that is we'll go sideways a bit and we'll drop. And what happened is on December 9th, 0.14 support was held. So you can see right here 0.14. Price came down. It hit 0.139761 and pulled up. But that's still showing that support at 14. So we pulled up on that support. And then pretty big day on the 16th, a big breakout, but we failed to break out here. So this is what you call a false breakout, where price comes up, it's breaking above 0.20, but you can see the most recent highs were 0.231846. You can see the high right here, and that was on November 25th. And it failed to break out and test that price. So once it pulls back, now it's in a waiting period to determine whether it's actually going to get back above that price. Now overall, it still looks bullish. You can see we pulled back for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Here we are looking at this presently on the 20th. So what we need to see for this to continue this move is we need a big breakout. Because typically in an uptrend, you're going to have one big breakout, and at most you're going to have 2 to 3 days of a pullback before we set up for the next break. Now, how I would play this, I need to see a close above 0.20. If we get a strong close and a breakout above that price, I'll be confident we're going to take out this most recent high here. So that's what I'd be waiting for, just by looking at this daily chart. If we come over and look at the weekly, you can just see this big move here, big rangy breakout. So whenever I'm looking at trades, it doesn't matter if I'm looking at a cryptocurrency, a stock, a currency, commodity, anything. Whenever you have a big range breakout here, it's a little bit dangerous because we know we were going to pull back. Now the range here on this week is 23.231846 is the high, and the low is 0.101508. That's a big range. So normally when you get a big range like that, you are going to pull back. So never be a buyer as soon as you have a big breakout like that. It's always a wait and see. This is this buy signal right here, just like I showed on the daily. And you can see here it's the same on the weekly. We get this nice breakout on the weekly chart, and that's where you want to buy right here. The buy-in for this was on November 22nd. If we come over and look at the monthly chart, now you can see in past, this chart goes all the way back to February 2018. There was a high of 0.51, and we pulled back. And this has largely been very sideways and choppy until it really started to break out in July of this year, 2020. But realistically, November was the big month. So by looking at the monthly chart, I'm definitely bullish, but like I pointed out on these other time frames, we really need to see a strong close above this 0.20 price. And until that happens, it's a wait and see. Clearly, it's a bullish looking chart. We held this support. Support is very important. And but now we need to see this resistance get taken out. And if that resistance gets taken out with a close, remember, on December 17th, it did pop above this 0.2 price. But it's where it closes, where the candle closes. So we need to see a close above this price. Very important. Now, on a 1 hour and a 4 hour, so here's the 1 hour, here's the 4 hour. Okay, we'll start with the 4 hour. So let's just show this on the 4 hour. So you can see, here's the breakout going back to November. Let me just move this out of the way. Here's the breakout, big breakout to the upside. Big breakout to the upside. We get that pullback at 14,000 like I was showing on the daily chart. We get a break, but we fail to take out this high here of 0.231846. We put in a lower high and then we start drifting lower. We start putting in lower highs, and that's how you define a downtrend, when you start putting in lower highs and lower lows. So that's how you define a downtrend, because we fail to take out the high here, we start dropping, we pull up, we start dropping, so that solidifies this as the next lower high. We drop again, we come up, we drop, this lower high gets solidified again, we start putting in lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and here we are bouncing off that 14.14 price again. And then that's where we are today, where we bounce off 14, we pull back, and now we're doing the reverse. We're starting to put in higher highs and higher lows, which is how you define an uptrend. So we break out off that support, we pull back. This low right here is higher than the 14.14 price. Then we break out, we pull back. This price on this pullback is higher than this low. And this is roughly support at 16.16. So now we're getting that support off of 0.16. And we break out again, and here we are pulling back. And right now, we're just, like I said on the daily chart, we're just waiting for that break. We're waiting for that breakout, and we'll see if it happens. It's kind of in a choppy sideways moment. Now let's look at the 1 hour chart. And you can really see in the last little bit, we've been very rangy. And when price is just going sideways, that is the best time to stay out and wait. You can just see here, we're in this range, this 18,000, 0.18,000, 180,000 actually, and 0.177 roughly, right? We need this to break out of this range, and just like I pointed out on the daily, we need a strong close above 0.20. Back to the 1 hour. So if we blow this out a bit here, you can just see where we are. Breakout, putting in higher highs, higher lows, hitting some resistance. Here we are dropping, holding support, but we're waiting for that break and that strong close all the way up here, 0.200000. And that's how I would break this down. So basically it's bullish. It's bullish when you look at it in a longer and even shorter term, but we need confirmation. We need to make sure we get a strong close above this price. And until that happens, this is a wait and see type move. So I'd be a holder, and I wouldn't be a buyer yet. I'm waiting for that breakout.